Hey, how's it going, everyone? We are a little bit chiller today, a little bit low key because I've been playing Bravely Second on my 3DS, and it like I think all the strategy and trying to figure out how to get all the systems to work makes my brain hyperactive, and then I can't get to sleep, and then I'm up until 3 in the morning reading Usagi comics, which is not a bad place to be by any stretch of the imagination. But I did that last night, and then had to wake up early to get Nightwing 49 out the door to you. Nightwing's on time. It wasn't that big of a deal. But I didn't get a whole lot of sleep, so my critical thinking isn't exactly what it is right now, or what it isn't what it should be, or some, I don't know. Look, we're chill. So today, instead of doing some like complicated coloring and that kind of thing, instead of doing a lot of like heavy lifting, like as far as creativity, we are going to fix the flats on this Batman stuff, because I want to give you guys a good starting point for the ultimate portfolio. Once we fix these flats, you guys get the ultimate portfolio. That's for you. That's for you out there. And you guys can make your own comic book coloring portfolio. And, take my jobs so that I don't have to get up so early in the morning, and so I can just kind of sleep. Yeah. So, all right. Yeah. Let's get into it. Oh, hey, weird. The Nerdist website's up here. That's weird. I wonder what's up. Oh, look at that. There's a little Sleepy Gary preview. That's pretty cool, right, guys? I colored this Sleepy Gary thing. I colored the first 15 pages, so all the pages in the preview are mine. Sleepy Gary waking up in this tank. If you're interested in that, it is on the Nerdist page. Also, real quick, this isn't a promotion of mine, but I would like to promote the Visible Women hashtag is real good and will definitely emotionally give you a complex about your own art. But yeah, so good. Like, you guys should really scroll through it. It's like every single piece is just like, it's bonkers how many talented women there are out there. So shameless. Yeah, thanks. But yeah, so you guys should definitely be checking out that hashtag right now on Twitter if you're not already. If you want to check out some cool art from across all different kinds of stuff, like comics, concept art, games, movies, whatever. Like, Visible Women are these incredible artists that are all doing awesome stuff out there. So yeah, you should check it out. All right, let's figure out what we're doing today. Let's figure it out. So we're going to be going through and kind of tweaking the flats. Now, what does that mean? I'm not too worried about like what color they are. We're not going to be really fixing that. What we are going to be fixing is stuff like, let me see what I can find. So like stuff like this is like a little bit, and this is no condemnation on Barry Colors, who did the flats for these. He did these flats for himself. He did these like they were not supposed to be shared with anyone. Like, I commented that I wanted to do some Batman pages. We actually did this page on the right on stream, and we're gonna try to match this level of detail for all this other stuff. And he was like, hey, I did these on my own. They're not for consumption or whatever, but if you want them, they're all yours. So props to Barry for letting us get a jump on this stuff, so that I can eventually pass it off to you. So we're gonna go in and kind of fix it in places. Croc doesn't have a whole lot on, huh? It's not really big into clothing. All right. Let's jump in. How you guys doing? I was one of the reasons why, like I said at the top, I was reading Usagi Yojimbo for the first time, which is like a classic comic. And I was trying to think if it's anime or not anime, if it's manga or not, because it's like definitely very Japanese, but like it doesn't feel Japanese to me. Like it doesn't feel like how Darkest Dungeon, or not Darkest Dungeon, Delicious Dungeon. It doesn't feel like Delicious Dungeon does to me. Like it doesn't feel like, I don't know. Like it's tough to describe. But like I don't know what the strict definition of like manga would be. Okay, we're gonna get these little guys. I'm gonna show you a quick way to do this. So this is the same way that I was kind of doing fingers and stuff on the Robert Wilson the fourth piece for flatting. We're just gonna plug them up like that. Wand, expanded a pixel, fill. Easy peasy. So to slow down, we're going to slow it down so you can see exactly what I'm doing. I'm selecting these pieces, right? All these little windows and stuff. Is there any more? I don't think there's any more. Is this? No, that's not really anything. Oh, there's the person is back here. We got to definitely highlight that. So we just fill it with the color of the window. Okay, so that's like what? Edit, fill. Yeah, edit, fill right there. And then we take the color of the background, the building color, and we plug up the little holes that are in the art. I actually think that was the only one. And then we take the wand. We're sampling all layers because we're working on 2 different layers here. Usually I don't work on 2 different layers. And you just select it, expand it, fill it. That's all you got to do. Now those guys are good and colored. We're going to pick a very bright color for the glasses because we want you over here just as much as we want you everywhere else on this page. Croc's making some fashion choices here. He's a very nude Croc in this series, I guess. Let's see. So we got to pull the color from here for the mouth. But yeah, I was trying to think if Usagi was considered manga, and also, like, I bought the first 2 trades, I think, of Usagi that are on Comixology, and it took me like a while. Like, admittedly, I thought they were kind of boring when I first started reading, and it took me like maybe 200 pages, which go by quickly, to really start to appreciate Usagi in general. It, like, the way that Stan decides on, like, if he's going to put backgrounds in, how he illustrates the action, it's like, it's could be really, really difficult. It could be really confusing. And the way that he chooses to illustrate it, it's like 100% clear the whole time. And not only that, but like it's also like has this like brilliant economy to it. Like you never linger on something. This is hard to describe. So like there's moments in the story where I think this page is good, by the way. Let me just real quick double check everything. We can get this little guy down here. We can kind of match it to this stuff that we got going on in this. At least give the reader a little bit of continuity, or give you guys a little bit of continuity. So yeah, Stan, oh, we have a 20 threshold. We want a 5. Stan kind of like the moments that take a long time, like in this page right here, right? Like this is probably the quickest action. Batman kicking Croc in the back of the head. He slams into the wall. We gotta recolor his mouth. Yeah, he slams into he slams into the pipe. So he slams into the pipe, and that's the quickest action. Because it's like the coolest action on the page, other than like this like cause and effect panel down here. These two panels are like the same kind of moment. Like if this, I feel like if this was in an Usagi book, like this would be a very quick panel. Instead of like being a panel that takes up the whole page, it would just be like you just like glance over it and you're done, kind of thing. Like the way that he deals with time and the way that he kind of like shows action is just like really interesting to me. A lot of we're gonna do all this rust stuff down here. Oh, and we're missing a little smoke thing. Man, Jim's sneaking in all these like extra little things everywhere. There's extra stuff everywhere with Jim Lee. But yeah, so Stan will draw these like panels where Usagi like cuts through you know, a bunch of guys in like one fluid motion, right? And that will take up most of the page, but like that's also the longest action that's happening on the page. And I feel like that's a really interesting choice that he made, and it's one that like, I mean, forever ago when we were scripting and like laying out Curse of the Iron Chef, which you can check out on YouTube if you want, was something that I wasn't really thinking about. And it's interesting to, I don't know, try to problem solve this kind of stuff in the future. We're going to go back to Curse, by the way. I have been like a total dingus, by the way, when it comes to the sketchbook challenge. I was actually thinking about, Nimish actually suggested that, because I was saying today I was pretty tired and I didn't know if I was going to stream and blah, blah, blah. And he was like, you should just stream sketchbook challenge. Like, do some drawing, like no pressure, you know? And I thought about that. And I do kind of want to do that, but I also, I don't know if that's what you guys really want to watch. Like, because I'm not a professional line artist. I'm a professional colorist. And if you guys are here for like professional content, then like I'm trying to provide that for you. And if it's just me like messing around, then like I'm not sure that you want to see that. This is the same, by the way. This is the same. You'd watch it? Nice. I'll keep it in mind. This is the same struggle that I have with like, do I stream video games? Like, I want to stream video games. We streamed Murder, She Wrote. And this is the other thing, is like, what video games do I stream? If you guys haven't seen the Murder, She Wrote murders, Matt Garvey described them on Twitter as something he only made it 30 minutes into and wanted to gouge his eyes out. So, you know, you have that to look forward to. All right. I think we've fixed the rust on the bottom of the pipe. We've made it very red, but like, I don't know, we can tone it down. Same here. Yeah. Classic Matt Garvey. Yeah. Okay. So like, I get it. Hidden object game, themed around Murder, She Wrote, not your bag. But I'm trying to find like, what's the good balance for games? Like, cause I was thinking about this today. I was like, well, I'm pretty tired. Like, maybe I should just stream some, I always want to call it Event Horizon. Horizon Zero Dawn. I'm excited to start playing that game. And I was like, maybe I should start streaming that, you know? Did we? Yeah, we got this all in one layer. We're going to do the same thing here. We are not in CMYK. Oh, buddy. Now, I wonder if... Oh no. We've goofed. Let's back it up. We gotta fix this. Alright, so I just took the liner had like transparencies and stuff going on. I just made it all one layer, black or white. We're gonna take it, copy it, turn this thing off. We're gonna shift this into CMYK, not RGB. Don't merge. Okay. Now, are we having problems? Doesn't look like we're having problems. Okay. And now we're gonna drop the line art in. Hey, we're all good. All right. If we can handle drop mix. Yeah. I think you have to just stream something you enjoy. If it's something you aren't into, it's not really fun to watch. Yeah. If we can handle drop mix, everything else is a plus. Yeah, appreciate that. But like, this is the thing, is like, you can watch I almost just called it Event Horizon again. Fuck. Horizon Zero Dawn. That like bit of information is like 6 seconds back in my brain. You can watch that stream basically anywhere. Bring back drop mix. Oh my god. The chat is unruly for drop mix. But yeah, you can watch that stream basically anywhere. So I'm kind of like, do I even bother streaming that? Like, is there, like, should we stream stuff that's like a little off the beaten path? I'm never going to stream something I don't want to stream, so we can just table that right now. But do I like, I was thinking about also a similar game, Breath of the Wild. I was thinking about streaming the Master quest, where all the enemies like are murder machines and you struggle to do anything, and you die a lot. And I was thinking about trying to stream that, and I wasn't sure if that was a good idea or not, because like ultimately you guys know what Breath of the Wild looks like. You don't need me to be like, here's Breath of the Wild, you know. What is happening with this transparency? Hold the phone. All right. There's transparencies on this like inks layer, I think. CMYK. Don't merge. Okay. Should we do the same thing for the flats? Maybe, just to make sure. I'm just trying to get all the transparencies out of here. Turn this off. Drop it. Drop it in the black channel. No, it's not going to do that. There we go. There we go. No more transparencies. Yeah. So, like, I'm trying to balance, like, do you want to see, like, you know, quirky, like, you know, a little off the beaten path games, or should I stream, like, your Breath of the Wilds and, like, stuff like that? You know, like, I'm trying to find, I've kind of, like, narrowed in on, like, what I want to show as far as Photoshop goes, and I'm trying to figure out, like, what else the stream should be, you know? You can put a poll in Discord every week. Yeah. You guys should join the Discord. Let me know. Yeah, I was also thinking, because, like, I've been abysmal at the sketchbook challenge, admittedly, this week. Or, sorry, this month. I don't know what it is. Like, once I finished my first sketchbook, I was like... I think I just mentally checked out. I was like, well... I've achieved all the art goals, you know, like, and then I just moved on. And I think that's part of it. And I think the other thing's part of it is that the sketchbook that I'm working on right now, or I'm going to start to work in, is larger than my other sketchbook. And mentally, I've told myself, oh, I can do pages in this one because it's so big. I could do like half a page on each page or whatever and like doodle some dumb comics. And then I was like, holy shit, I have to make comics. And that kind of like, I think that like broke my brain a little bit. The like idea of like, this is real now, but like, it's still not that real. Like, it's still just sketchbook challenge. Like, I just got to get over it. I don't know. So I gotta step up with the sketchbook challenge. And especially because, like, I don't know if you guys, so consider this your heads up. And I mean, this is going to be the first of many heads up for you guys, because it's something that I'm thinking about. October's almost here. Every October, what happens is people do Inktober, where they ink something every day. And I was thinking about this last night. I don't think I can keep the pace of inking every single day, like a new thing. I think I could do like maybe 3 a week consistently, or maybe every other day or something like that. So we're gonna try to hit that goal. Is this kid blonde? We're gonna make him blonde, so he stands out a little bit more. So yeah, I was thinking like, you prefer art to games, so you vote colors and drawings. Don't mind getting a game or two here and there. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking like, the thing is like, it's easy for me to do games, like real easy, and art takes like focus and time and energy, whereas games I can be like, let's just put this on and hang out, you know. Like although I don't have that much experience doing games, maybe it's a little tougher. I'm not sure, but art streams are always going to outnumber the regular game streams for sure on this channel. But yeah, what was I saying? Like I said, very tired. Oh, so yeah, I was thinking about like, well, you know, I could stream, if I stream my Inktober stuff and I decide to stream every day, like I could stream Inktober stuff every day. Like I could stream every day, which is something that I'd love to do. Something I wish I had time to do. But then I was like, I don't know, like at that point the stream like just straight up becomes something else, you know. Like everybody who's here to watch like Photoshop stuff, like guess what, the stream just like hugely shifted focus. Like I have 100 videos up on YouTube right now of Photoshop, and then I'm just gonna be like, here's 30 in a row every single day of inking, and it's like, what the fuck happened? It's like I always threaten this. I'm like, once my stream hits like, you know, or my Twitter feed hits something like an arbitrary high number of followers, I'm just gonna convert it to like a fan stream of some kind, so that people are like, when did I start following the Gilmore Girls fan account? You know, like, just gonna bait and switch you. And I feel like that's what it would be, you know, like, and I don't want to do that to you guys. So I don't know. We might stream some Inktober stuff just to like participate in it and like have a good time. And by the way, if you're out there and you want to break into comics and you want eyeballs on your comics, like, you should jump in on that Inktober hashtag. And if you're a woman, you should jump in on the Visible Woman hashtag. Hey Erica, good afternoon. We're talking stream stuff. Trying to give people heads up. So, one of the things that I'm thinking about with Inktober is that, like, if it's Inktober in a few months from now, it's pencil September. That doesn't work as well. Ink in Photoshop? No, I was gonna ink straight. I was gonna ink it like on paper. I was just gonna set up the second camera. Just like put it over. Inktober as a halfway race instead of the full 31. Yeah, I think that's where I have to live. I was thinking about because I was thinking about theming it and doing all the villains or all the bad guys from the first Legend of Zelda game. All the different pixel guys, but, you know, drawing them. And because that's like close to, I think, 30 different characters. And then I was like, holy shit, I gotta make like 30 image. I was like, on the weekends and shit. Like, I'm already bad at doing the sketchbook challenge on the weekends. I don't know if I could do it totally, you know, that whole time. I think I might have to do half. I might have to do Monday to Friday, do like 3 of them or whatever. But yeah, I was debating on like if I should stream them, if I should not stream them, like, and part of that is rooted in like, I want to give you guys what you want, and I also want to convey what I want to convey on stream, which is like, you know, coloring is something that anyone can do, and I want to pull you up, and like, I don't know if like doing Inktober stuff on stream like shares that same mission statement, you know? It's like a weird thing. I don't know. Like, maybe we got to set up like a secret side stream. I'm not sure. I don't want to like muddy the message, is what I'm saying. And this is something that you guys should probably be thinking of as well, in all things, if you're looking to break into comics. You did it last year, all days. It wasn't really fun or worth it. You wish you would have taken your time and enjoyed it more. Oh, so this is what I was going to say. If Inktober's happening, the last thing you want to be doing is penciling and Inktobering. Like, you want to have penciled images in the can that you are happy with, so that you can just focus on the inks. And yo, between you and me, if you guys got some inked images in the can just to have, so that you're consistent in Inktober, no one's gonna know. You can do whatever you want. You can do whatever you want. There's no rules. You can fill it in by inviting an artist to an interview while he makes the Inktober for the day. Yeah, we could do that. There's a lot of like... here's the thing with doing the extra artist interview stuff. I like doing it. We're going to keep doing it. But there's a lot of like logistics to setting it up. And I think that if we add a further level of complication, we know Nick is trying to make us cheat. No. If we add like a further level of complication on top of it, it's going to be really difficult, especially with artists who are not super tech savvy. Like, I would have no problem setting that up, but I have all the equipment to set that up and the experience of setting up similar things. Like, it's not that different from cracking Harry Potter TCG cards on stream. But, like, for example, Mike Oming has not cracked Harry Potter TCG cards on stream. He would be in the weeds when it comes to that. So as much as I'd like to get Mike sketching on stream and like talking with us, maybe it's just better to get him just talking to us. We got to figure out these buildings in the back, but I think that's the only thing that we got to tweak on this. I think everything else is like pretty all right. I'm trying to see if there's any like kind of glaring stuff. We might want to like add a little bit of variation in here. There's a little bit of leak here. That's still helicopter rail. Yeah. So right now, if you're thinking about October or Inktober or October or whatever you want to call it, you should probably be thinking about getting your penciled images like ready to go. And if you're, like I said, if you're looking to break into comics, like getting on these hashtags and like creating good work for the hashtag is a good way to get noticed. Like, writers look at that hashtag, editors look at that hashtag. It's undeniable. People retweet that hashtag. If you want easy retweets, if you want easy communication, it's right there and ready. What else do we gotta do? We gotta do these guys down here. These like vent things we're gonna make these a different color. Oh my god, we've selected all these pipes in here. But yeah, when I was talking about, focusing the stream into being, like conveying the message that I want to convey, which is that like comic coloring is an art form. You can learn to do this. I encourage you to try it at least once to gain appreciation for the medium. Like all these things that make the stream cohesive and interesting and with a message. Like, I don't want to muddy the waters by doing like, we're going to do other things. It's the same advice that I give in portfolio reviews where I'm like, you're trying to do comic book streams, or you're trying to do comic books, and then you have like concept design or marker renderings or like whatever, like you're all over the place. You want to have like a focused kind of like goal, a focused message that you're trying to convey to whoever comes by and like watches anything. For any kind of like art form that you're doing. If you're just like messing around, throwing it up on an Instagram, that's fine. But if you're trying to like make a cohesive thing that has a message, everything you do should coincide with that message. All right, let's tweak these buildings back here. Add like a little bit of interesting like windows and stuff. Before we do that, I'm actually going to color shift them because they're kind of folding into everything else going on with all these grays and blues and stuff. I think they were a yellowish kind of thing. Erica hosting me. Thank you very much. I think they were like a yellowish kind of thing originally. All right. Let's figure this out. Let's get all the windows as best we can with as much patience as possible. yeah. So those are the things that I'm thinking about. Like with in regards to the stream is like, okay, so I start doing Inktober, how much should I put online? And then I was like, well, I could just record it and throw it on YouTube, but YouTube is like an extension of the goals of this stream. So it's like I can muddy it on YouTube, but I can't muddy it here. You know, it's kind of like, well, you know, it's just like different viewers, really. Shout outs to YouTube. If you're watching this on YouTube, you are a superior human being to these Twitch plebs. No offense to the Twitch plebs. I feel awkward saying plebs, by the way. It's not a word that I use normally. Anyway, yeah. So I'm like, I'm trying to, I don't know, figure out what this stream is. And like all my sketchbook stuff, the sketchbook challenge and stuff is like relegated to the Discord for a reason. It's because like, you know, I don't want that people following me on Twitter to be confusing like my silly drawings. Jim and his windows, am I right? Yeah. You know, my silly drawings on Twitter, and then they're like, wait, why did I follow this account? I follow people like, you know, Eric Canetti and Jim Lee for art. Like, why am I following this? I don't know. And then they unfollow, and it's like, oh, but I'm also doing this coloring thing. You know, like you can't like pull the focus too hard. That said, there's going to be a point where I hopefully am going to be able to like make the transition to be like, hey, like, you know me for this. I have been doing this. Here is the professional work, you know? But I'm not quite at that point yet where I am making like professional work that I am happy with sharing with the world. Not quite yet. Not quite yet. I kind of don't know what's going on here, but we're just going to darken all this up, I guess. Maybe darken these guys on the top here up. There's like, I don't know that, no offense to Jim, but I don't know that Jim is really putting a lot of thought into the side of this building. I think that building is very small, and he's just kind of like line, done. You know, like he's making background elements that break down into basic shapes, which is what you want to be doing, because otherwise he would be like driving himself crazy, like we are kind of doing right now. You know, like this kind of stuff, the reason I'm doing like 1 or 2 colors is because like even though the stuff doesn't matter, it still matters. Like if it was 1 color, people would be like, hey, why isn't this stuff colored? If it's 2 colors, then it's gonna be like, you know, it looks full colored. It's like a weird optical illusion kind of thing. You got to do as much as you got to do to like get it done. All right, I think we're almost done. Hey Brendan, what's up? By the way, so like I said in the top, Nightwing 49 got out, and oh man, I was saying in Discord, like, first of all, the art's really great. You guys should pick it up. We're gonna talk more about it once it comes out, and you know, my experience with the artist, and he's a newer artist, new to me anyway. But yeah, very excited about it. And I don't know if it like just got home from the hairdresser, shaving your beard next. Whoa, getting prepped and ready for cons. I don't know if this was intentional or unintentional or what, but like The Nightwing 48 and 49 feel very like it feels like the motorcycle scenes in Akira. Like it feels very like Japanese anime or like Motor Crush or stuff like that. Like it feels, I don't know. I made like a playlist to like get myself amped up of like all these like Japanese bands. And I felt like that was the most appropriate thing. We're gonna try to keep the colors the same for these back buildings as we did for the buildings over here. I don't think that like we were tweaking these buildings, but these ones are just kind of shapes. You're a huge fan of Usagi? We were talking about that in the beginning of the show here. Now, this guy, it's very tempting to do like what we did in the background here with this same guy, with this like crane thing. But like the crane has all these little doodads and like this piston and stuff. So we're going to try to separate out all these elements because if I was coloring this, I would want all those elements separated out. We're going to make this kid consistently blonde and change his outfit just a little bit. Let me see if there's any other consistency stuff. I mean, we can keep his cowl blue. It doesn't matter. Plus, I want to influence the person who is doing this to be Batman blue. Yeah, I was talking about Usagi a little bit. It's like it took me a while to like for the book to click with me. The storytelling in it is really, really interesting, and it's like I don't know how to say it. It's like quiet comics at a time when comics were very, very loud. Like it was the mid 80s and like comics were still shaking off, at least American comics, the comics that were like available to me at the time. I felt like comics were still shaking out this idea of like, well, if it doesn't have text on every single panel, if somebody isn't saying something all the time, if there isn't always a caption, then like, is the writer even doing its job? Like, you know, there was still like that mentality. And Usagi, I think because it was one man doing everything, kind of like takes that and like throws it out the window. He's like, yes, I'm going to do this however I want to do this. It feels manga-esque to you, that slow-moving big space sort of thing. Yeah, that's interesting. I was saying before that I was like, I don't know if it necessarily feels like pure manga to me, though, you know? But it's also like, what the fuck does that mean? You know? Like, you know, what is anything other than exactly what it is? There's some philosophy for you. What is anything other than exactly what it is? Why are we trying to put things in boxes? Can't we just love the medium? Yeah, definitely not pure manga, but manga-esque. Yeah. Can't we just love the medium? Oh, we're working on we're doing the thing where we gotta fix the page. Oh, shit. Hold on. I'm goofing this up all over the place. Let's just fill it and deal with it later. Okay. We got to do... So we had transparency problems before. So we're going to put a white background below each of these pages and merge them. We're going to take this, copy it, and then put it into CMYK again. Don't merge. We're going to drop this in the black channel, just like the other page, and then chuck the inks. Hey, there we go. Yeah, man, Usagi is a good book. I want to read more of it. It's also interesting what he was doing, like I was saying with loud comics versus quiet comics. What he was doing at the time he was doing it is really, really interesting. You're a big proponent of that kind of storytelling. Sometimes you gotta let the story breathe. I'm 100% on board with that. There's a lot of comics that I pick up that like I instantly like. I get interested in it, I pick it up, and it hits me with like fucking a page of just like caption boxes, and I'm just like, fuck me. Like, why? Like, I get excited about it, I jump in, and then I get kicked right out, you know? At least that's how I feel when I go in on stuff like that. All right, I don't think there's anything we need to tweak for like this stuff. This is kind of like, so we could get in here and like do all these little pieces and stuff, but like, why? This is going to be so... Scott McCloud's Zot is good for the same time period. Yeah. Those info dumps can lose you too. That's like a symptom of mainstream comics. That's like, oh, we don't know if you got the last issue, so here's everything that happened in like 2 short paragraphs, and you're just kind of like, I don't care. I just want to skip this. And usually, you know, like, I've read enough comics to know like what I need to skip over and what I don't. I'm gonna be honest with you. This panel where he's like in the heat sensor, I'm just like, I wouldn't want this panel turned into me as a colorist. Like, I would want this broken into pieces. But I think that the individual pieces that are here are going to be broken into different pieces depending on the colorists. I think so much of this panel is open to interpretation that like we could almost get away with just a solid color and calling it a day and be like, you do you kind of thing. So hold on. My fiance, because I didn't get a whole lot of sleep last night, my fiance thinks that I'm asleep right now, but I'm just streaming. She she thinks I'm in a nap that's raging out of control. So she's like, "Wake up." And I'm like, "I'm awake. I'm awake." Yeah, so I don't think we're going to actually tweak any of this. Like, I thought about getting in there and doing like each individual shape and stuff, but like, and if I was coloring it, I would definitely do that, but I think that there's no way I can flat this thing and not influence the colorists that are going to color it beyond me. I think how you flat this thing is going to be kind of where it ends up color-wise anyway. You're not going to be doing a lot of cuts and stuff. So like, let's just move on. And let's do this crane. The crane is the last kind of like piece of this drawing. So let's figure out how we're going to do this. Maybe with a pen tool? I've been using the mouse this whole time, but like maybe we just bite the bullet, jump in there, and just try to marker in the stuff that we want to marker in. This is going to be visually kind of sloppy. Like, the flats aren't going to be like tight and good, but they will be done very, very quickly. Yeah. Man, so yeah, Nightwing had this kind of like anime racer feel to it that kind of came out of nowhere, and it didn't click with me until I was on the second of the two issues, like kind of like what this thing was, because it's not something that like I really associate with Ben's writing in general. That's not a knock against Ben. I just for whatever reason I didn't think that like that was kind of his wheelhouse, and I wonder if this is the influence of the hand of the artist more than what Ben was thinking about. I wonder what Ben was thinking about. I wonder if he was considering these things. Ben Percy. Who knows? Perhaps he was thinking about this. Perhaps he was like, this is my time for Akira motorcycle madness. I don't know. We should get him on the stream one of these days. Talking comics. I'd like to get some writers on stream, to be completely honest, because I have a lot of questions. I have a lot of like craft questions when it comes to like seasoned writers. More comics need Akira motorcycle references. Yeah, you're not wrong. You're very right, in fact. But yeah, it didn't click till the second issue, and I wonder. I was trying to look back at the first issue today, now that we had like both of them done, 48 and 49. And I was like, man, is there anything in here that I would necessarily change to try to make it more like Akira anime like? And I don't think there was. Like, I think that it's pretty... I think like I wandered into the space pretty well without really knowing exactly where my head was supposed to be at. And then once my head was there, I was like real excited. You'd volunteer if you're willing to wait until you got a big enough book to be worth it. Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. I'd be willing to have you on stream for sure, but I want to get some larger names, at least for to start off. Part of the problem with that is that like, since the chain of command in comics is like, by the time I'm working with the artist on a book, the writer has moved on to either like 1 or 2 issues down the line. I actually don't interact with writers that often, just due to the nature of comics. And so the personal relationships that I have, a lot of them are not with writers. Just because a colorist isn't as dependent on a writer. It's kind of a weird thing, now that I'm thinking about it, because I have a lot of writer questions. I know Jeremy's writing a lot of The Realm. I wonder if we get him and maybe him and Seth on stream. That would be kind of dope. We had him on stream a while ago, but we talked about art the whole time. We did not talk about writing. I don't know if what I'm doing right now, like, that's kind of like open to interpretation, but we're going to leave it in there. Oh, there's a whole bottom piece. Oh, shit. Well, I guess we're going to do this bottom piece. There's not a whole lot we need to do down there. Yeah, that's what you figured. Writers are nerds. You're not wrong. But here's comics' dirty little secret. We're all nerds. Just all of us. There's no cool guy. hate to burst your bubble, but If you think you're the cool guy in comics, you're not. Every time I think that, like, hey, maybe I'm the cool guy in comics. Maybe comics is really cool. Like, I end up at some sort of more adult function, and then like have to tell somebody, like, oh, they'll be like, what do you do? I'm an sometimes even with other artists. I was at this thing, it was like an open air like beer on the lawn kind of like thing with like a band, and like it was like a bar area kind of thing, and a friend of the family was like, hey, you got to meet this person, they do art too, kind of thing. And it was an older woman who does painting, and I was like, oh, that's cool. And like, so I was like asking her about her paintings and stuff, and then she was like, well, what do you do? And I was like, no, she didn't ask that. She asked, and this is when she said this, I immediately knew I was going to disappoint her. She was like, what is your medium? And I was like, oh, honey, like there's no satisfying answer I can give you. I was like, Photoshop? And she was just like, I saw her just like glaze over. That's why you got to shoot for being the most handsome man in comics. I can't take that away from Robert. That's all he has. I'm joking, of course. Robert is also very talented. And also very handsome. Voted most handsome. I think we did enough detail in this guy that we're probably good to go. I think this page is good. But yeah, man, that woman really wanted like a satisfying, like, artistic conversation, and oh boy, did I not provide it for her. Definitely told the hairdresser you're a freelance writer. Yeah, then explain a comics business trip. Yeah. I'm with you. This looks like a lot of building stuff. Let's make sure that these guys are all good. CMYK, no other layers. We can actually flatten this. Let's flatten this guy. Chuck the inks. We can flatten. This one's fine. We flatted this one on stream a while back. Yeah. There's that poor woman was looking for an artistic conversation, and even though I can provide it, her own prejudices were like, she was like, nah. There's no, that's the thing, is like, once you get out of like the nerdy wheelhouse, there's nobody who's actually cool in comics. Brendan Fletcher. Yeah, I don't know him, but I'd be willing to have him on stream. Should have talked to her about Murder, She Wrote. Yeah. Whew. I wasn't on the Murder, She Wrote tip back then. If only. So yeah, speaking of Murder, She Wrote and games, and we were talking about this earlier. This is all like threshold and everything. It is not. There we go. So with all these things in mind about like what kind of games should I stream, and like what is worthwhile, and like where should we have directed the stream, as far as like what is our message. Like, I want to stream some like stuff that's a little obscure, not lab color. CMYK, come on, thank you. Don't merge. You can name like 3 total. You should get Sabella. Yeah, I do want to get Sabella. He's He's a busy dude though. Like he's got a lot going on. He'd be tough to nail down, but he'd be good to have on stream. One of the things that I really like about Chris is that he's very, very honest. Like, I mean, like, I don't know if he would necessarily like talking in public on stream versus him talking in general to me in private is different for sure. But he's been pretty candid about his feelings on things on his not Twitch, Twitter. He's been very candid on Twitter. So I think he'd be a really interesting person to have on stream. There's, in particular, one of the things that I would love to talk to him about on stream is dealing with depression in comics. Because this is not like this medium, like this job, this medium, this whole thing, like really messes with your head. I like, by the way, Cave Carson people, all of us, did a Q&A for Panel to Panel, Panel X Panel, the magazine, the comics magazine that you can download. It's like a digital only kind of thing. We all did this interview. It was great. One of the questions was, Nick, you do a lot of very dark color. Why do you do that? And I was like, I do that? I was like, is it too dark? Do I need to lighten it? By how much? How much would you like me to lighten it by? Like instant tailspin. You know, like there's this, like this job just like messes with your head. And I know Chris is very open about that in general. And so I think that he thinks about it a little more critically than I do. But yeah, if you think there's a point where suddenly you don't think about that stuff anymore, you've achieved a level of stardom or whatever within comics where like you don't get in a tailspin from someone's offhanded comment that they didn't even mean to be negative, guess what? It still messes with you. It still rings in your ear. It's fucking weird shit. I actually just somebody just suggested online the other day on Twitter that you should never read any of your reviews, good or bad, because all it will end up doing is influencing the product that you want to make. And that's not where you want to be. You want to be making the stuff that you want to be making. And if you try to like bend it to be what somebody else thinks you should be making, then like you're gonna not have a good product. Which I think is, there's a logical argument there for sure. But man, is it tough to not read reviews. So there's like mist and stuff which is why there's like, you know, missing should I have more glitter to lighten it up? Yeah, exactly. Me just sweat and panic. Yeah. Do you want glitter? Is that what you want? Is that what you want right now? I can do that right now. You loved his YouTube videos? Yeah. Yeah, he does YouTube videos breaking down. I actually if you're watching this on YouTube, on my channel page, it's like on the right side it'll say like recommended viewing, and his YouTube page is up there. I recommend it. He's a smart dude. And his name escapes me right now, which is terrible. I didn't think we'd be talking about him today. And I know I can like kind of see it in my mind, and I know that even if I try to pronounce it, I'm gonna butcher it. I feel really bad about it though. I wish I knew what it was offhand. I wish I heard somebody say it so that I can just repeat those sounds. Shit, I'm terrible. But yeah, he's very very smart dude. When it comes to this stuff. He's got a podcast on lettering as well, which is actually really interesting. If you are a letterer out there, you're probably already listening. We're fast and loose right now, and we got to tighten up. The thing is like there's smoke coming out of here, and here's one of the things that is going to vary from colorist to colorist as far as like flats go. Some flatters will flat in the smoke where they think the smoke should be. I hate that. Hassan. I don't know what his last name is. But yeah, he's got a lettering podcast too that's really good. There you go. In the chat. I would absolutely butcher that name. Good luck pronouncing that. Yeah. His name is beautiful and long, and there's no way I'm going to pronounce it right. So because there is smoke, there's a lot of like ambiguity that's in here. In these city panels. We're gonna try to flat as best we can. Like, so obviously these windows and stuff need to get flatted. We're gonna, but like, fuck man, this stuff is a pain. Like, I understand artists that do this and why they do this, and I'm not coming down on Jim Lee, but like, as a colorist, this stuff is kind of difficult to interpret. It's fun to color. It is difficult to interpret at this stage in the game. Yeah, his name takes up half the length of the comic scene. Yeah, he's a letterer. He's used all the letters. So Nightwing is done and out the door, like I said. The next thing I'm working on is going to be Umbrella Academy #2. Hopefully, and I don't think that I'm going to have a problem with this, but you never know till you're in the weeds. I don't think that I'm going to be as in my own headspace as I was last time. I think with a successful issue under my belt with minimal corrections, that like I've gained enough confidence to like be like, oh, I know how to do this now. So we'll see what this issue looks like compared to the last issue. I can't speak for other colorists, but man, issue 1s are tough. Like trying to figure out what the look is and how to convey it and making everybody on the team happy is such a head case. And then when you get to issue 2, it's like, oh, I can just let loose. I know what I'm doing now. I'm in the right place. I don't know if this is like, because this is like a half of a drawing. Should we like carve this thing out, I guess? And then maybe carve this thing. Yeah, I think we're in a good space. Maybe we're, like I said, we are fast and loose with these flats. Like, I think the fact that there is kind of a smoke thing happening is letting us be like, you know, like obviously this doesn't really work. It should probably look more like that. It's not that big of a deal, but I guess we'll fix it. We should probably do these windows and stuff. Is this going to be the... Oh my god, we have so much more of this. We've done so little. I was like, we're on the last panel. Practically. I should get Gerard Way on stream. Yeah, I don't know if I'm capable of doing that. It turns out he's a pretty busy guy, and I don't know if he's gonna be interested in talking to me and like the 9 of you. It would boost my stream numbers like exponentially. I would love to get Gerard on stream. We've chatted before, but like I don't know if he'd be down to do any kind of like official capacity kind of stuff. I think we got to get... This is the thing, is like, if the channel was bigger, it'd be a no-brainer. But I don't think the channel is big enough for him. Like, we need writers in like this sweet spot of like I feel like Chris is kind of in that sweet spot of like, I know him, so we're buds, and we work on a book together, and he's not like mega famous, you know. Like I know Brian. Like Brian and I exchange emails. Brian Bendis. We've been working on books since like 2006. Do I think I can get him on stream? Hell the fuck no. Dude is too busy to like come on stream and just be like, hey, what's up? Can't hurt to ask him. Yeah. Yeah, I'll ask him. Yeah, he won't. Yeah. That's ridiculous to think about. Like, I'd ask him and he'd be like, no, not only am I not going to come on stream, but you're fucking fired. Don't talk to me or my guitar ever again. I don't know what that means. I was thinking me or my son ever again, but like I don't know if he has a son or not. Yeah. Yeah, I'll ask. I have to actually shoot the team a big email because I'm trying to get to New York City Comic Con, but I don't know if that's actually going to happen or not. I kind of resolved myself to be like, well, I was too late on this thing, and Justin Jordan would be cool. I don't actually know Justin that well. I've seen him at like shows and stuff, and like we know the same people, but we've never actually like had a conversation before. I don't know if that'd be weird. I don't know. This is the other thing, is like I want to get, you know, people who I have a relationship with, because I want them to be comfortable rather than being like, hey, stranger guy, I don't know if I can be myself around, you know. Like I want like a candid, good interview. Eric Canetti is a writer now. Is he writing books? That's awesome. I would love to read what he's putting out there. I'm a fan of Eric's work. I feel like he for whatever reason can't catch a break when it comes to sequentials. Like he has Eric is an incredibly bombastic artist, and well, writing his graphic novel. He's taking a whole month of streaming to complete his graphic novel. Nice. Yeah, Eric's like this incredibly bombastic, dynamic artist, and I feel like for whatever reason, the colorists that he's worked with over the years, like kind of get his pages and like, I don't know, panic maybe, like, because there's so much going on. I feel like Eric needs a colorist that focuses his work up, you know, like makes his work into yeah, like I was saying, like a dynamic focused thing. Like there's Eric needs a solid storyteller to work with him. To kind of make his work shine. Oh no, we are the same color as all the pipes. Yeah, I would love to do a graphic novel with Eric. I think that I can make his work look really good. But, you know, whatever. It'll happen, it won't happen, whatever. I actually, so for the rest of the week, I'm actually taking the rest of the week off to get everything together for Rose City Comic Con, which is happening in like a couple of weeks. I got to order a new bag that will fit my new banner on the airplane, and re-up with some books. Some companies owe me some stuff that are going to be there. Or they don't owe me. I need to get books from them. So if they're going to be there, they need to bring books for me to pick up and buy. Are you said colorist? Maybe. I'd love, like I said, I'd love to work with Eric. We did those Superboy covers, and in my humble opinion of the work that I did, I think it was the best in Eric's career, because like it felt fresh and focused, and it felt like I wasn't trying to. It's weird. Like I feel like a lot of the colorists that he works with, and maybe I'm way off the mark. Like I don't know. I haven't talked to his colorists over the years, and I don't know if he's thinking about coloring at all. But like. And, you know, I don't want to step on anybody's toes, but it feels like the colorists who work with Eric kind of like do their own thing over Eric, and rather than like tailoring it to what Eric is putting down on the page. At least that's how it feels from the outside looking in. But he's got to be a challenging artist to work with. Why are we using gradients? These are flats. Good Lord. I slipped into coloring there. Would agree. Yeah. Yeah, he's got it. I mean, like, I don't even know if I would be able to be frank. Like, I'd love to give it a shot, but like, I also, here's the reality, and this might be a reality that his previous colorists ran up against, which is like, you know, I have to hit X amount of pages a day in order to make all my other deadlines work. And if I'm doing like, this is part of the problem why that I'm having right now over an A. McDonald book, is that like I'm working on this book, and it's like taking me, I'm doing like 2 pages a day when I normally do 4. And I cannot spend 2 weeks on a book. Like at the end of the day, I'm making less than minimum wage. And it's like this, like I love comics, and I would love to do them as purely for the love of the game. But like at a certain point, you have to be like, well, I need to put like food in my mouth hole, you know? Like, that's gotta happen. Like, we gotta make some money at some point. I don't know. I'm wrestling with this Andy McDonald book right now, actually. I might work on that a little bit while I prep for Rose City. Apparently we are unselecting these little bird things. But yeah, so like, you know, once I get into like, it's easy for me to be on the outside and be like, oh, a colorist should do this with Eric Canetti. That's the easiest fucking thing in the world to do, is to sit on the outside, look in, and be like, let me tell you how it goes. It's a whole different like ball of wax to be like, you know, in the trenches working the book. Larger rate with longer deadlines. See, here's the thing. No one's gonna like, if pages take me double the time that they normally do, no one is gonna double my rate. Like, doubling my rate is kind of unheard of. Like you're talking crazy talk. I would have to be doing like something different. Like it would have to be like I'm like digital painting the stuff. Like it would have to be just like a fundamentally different book than what I would necessarily turn over. Like if they doubled my rate and I gave them like a regular comic book, them being anyone, people would be like, this is it, huh? This is what we're doing. This is what I'm paying you all this money for? All right, Chief. No, they wouldn't say all right, Chief. They would say you're fucking fired. Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird, the economics of comics is a beast. I think about this a lot because like, you know, I'm hoping that Umbrella Academy. Okay, so I work with Mike Oming on stuff. Empowers is like a 3-day book. I can do like 7 pages of that a day. So I can take a smaller rate on that. It's not a big deal. Or I can take a larger rate on it, and then I'm able to do other books at a lower rate and spend more time on them. And it like balances out. Or I could take that book at a high rate and then take another book at a high rate that I could easily do in 3 days as well. And like, bing, bang, boom, I'm making money hand over fist. And it's like, well, it depends on like what your goals are. And like, it also depends on like the, you know, opportunities presented to you. Cause I can't just be like, hey, Marvel, what's up? I'm here for my books, you know, like, despite whatever you guys think, like, cause it from the outside looking in, it must look like, you know, I just get what I want, because I've been working on like a lot of like really cool stuff over the years, but the reality is that like I'm at the beck and call of editors and like other artists and other opportunities and stuff, like just like everybody else, you know. It's a weird thing. Comics is a weird thing. We are totally changing the colors of everything around us. We're getting into here and we're changing all of this stuff. Huh. I wonder if that's going to bite us in the ass. I don't know. The financial stuff is really hard to juggle, especially with people who are new to the game. If you're new to the game, it's really easy to undervalue yourself. But it's also really easy to overvalue yourself. It's such a weird thing. Like, I see a lot of like newer people be like, who don't have a lot of credits to their name, be like, fuck you, pay me. And, you know, demanding these high rates. I actually, so here's the thing. When I got my first Marvel gig, I was like, I have no idea what to quote for my price range. And I was doing flats for Matt Hollingsworth at the time. And Matt had been coloring comics for a long time at this point. Years and years. And so I was like, hey, Matt, I have this thing, you know, like, what should a good rate be? Like, what am I worth? And Matt came back with this like astronomically huge figure. Like I think I'm starting to get those numbers now in my career. But at the time it was like, this is my first thing. And like the work that I was turning around was not worth the number that he quoted to me. And to his credit, he was like, I don't take anything under this number. And like, I told my editor, I was like, I want this. And my editor literally sent an email back laughing at me. Like, because I didn't know, you know, like how my work looked stacked up with Matt Hollingsworth's work. I didn't know that, like, you know, he was like, well, for that number, we can just get Matt Hollingsworth, you know, like that kind of thing. And at the time I was not making work that was on par with Matt Hollingsworth. So it was like, why am I demanding this number? You know, it's just, I don't know, man. Fucking financials. It's such a mind fuck. It's tough. It's real tough. And it would help if we all unionized. I'm opening up that can of worms again. Entry-level numbers. Yeah, but how do you even know those are entry-level numbers? Like, this is the other thing, is like, I did work for a video game company, and I quoted them more, like a little bit more than my comics rate, because I was like, video game people have money. And then they were like, oh yeah, that's fine. And I was like, fuck, I should have asked for more, you know? Like, it's so tough, because like, not only do you have to cater the number to like the person you're working with, but also your skill level in the scope of it, of their ability. And then you got to think about their ability to hire other people. Like, maybe video game people are not as savvy with the comic book world, and they just want to hire you, and they don't really know who else to hire, and they'll pay anything. Like, maybe that's the case. Maybe that's not the case. Who knows? You know, there's like, that's that's like the negotiation. Oh man, I'm getting stressed out just thinking about it. At any rate, I'm working on an Andy McDonald thing, and I love his work. And he was the first comics that I ever made was with him. First comics I ever had published was with Andy McDonald, called NYC Mech, way back in like the early mid 2000s. So I want to knock this thing out of the park. So I'm putting all this time into it, and I'm like, well, shit, I'm only getting 2 pages done a day. Is this like financially feasible? It's such a, but then at the end of the day, it's like, I also just really want to do good work, you know, like I really do want to spend like that much time on it. I think I have to go in and like, talking about it now, I'm realizing that maybe I need to go in and prioritize pages, you know, like spend a lot of time on the big stuff, and coast through the smaller stuff. Think about it like as in an economy of time. And maybe all colorists do this, and I'm just like late to the game learning this stuff. Who knows? But yeah, maybe you should be doing this too out there in Twitch land or YouTube or wherever you are. Yeah, I don't know. All I know is everyone out there should be paid millions of dollars to make their art. To make whatever you want to make. I'm starting to be more sensitive to this stuff as far as like money versus time lately. Only because, not because I'm like trying to like, get my sack of money and get out. But like, because I'm thinking about, you know, spending time drawing, and I can't do that if I'm spending time coloring. But I also need to feed myself. You do that in writing? Trying to have 2 projects that sap your brain? Yeah, man. I don't know, like, what the right thing to do is, you know? I think that the right thing to do is to do what you can. Like, do what you're able. Like, take advantage of every opportunity that's presented to you to the best of your ability. And I think that's what all page rate comes down to. It's just like another piece of that. If you're able to get a price, get it. If you're not, like, consider what you're worth and what your time is worth. You know? We've talked about this on stream before, though. Like, anytime you take a project, the first thing you should ask is, like, what's in this for me? If it's working with somebody you want to work with, awesome. If it's getting paid, awesome. If it's both those things, awesome. If it's getting published for the first time, awesome. Like, that is awesome. There's nothing like getting published for the first time. Yeah, I don't know. Realities of managing this life. So yeah, I'm gearing up for Rose City Comic Con. The next couple of days I'm going to be trying to do everything that I need to do to get that, like, all in line before I start working on Umbrella Academy. You took a reduced rate in the proposal so you could work with a dope creative team. Yeah, exactly. Like, if that's what you got to do, is, like, do it up. I've actually been thinking a lot about how money equals creative freedom. Like, if you don't have to take something to, like, make ends meet, you can have more creative freedom. And it makes me want to sell all of my possessions and just put the money in a bank. It makes me want to, like, go crazy. I have 2 hey Panda. I actually have 3 booster boxes up on eBay right now. I'm like, get rid of this shit. But I'm probably gonna buy dumb crap with it. I want to get an upscaler for the Sega Saturn. Specifically for the Saturn, but not exclusively for the Saturn. Maybe the Genesis in the future too. Shit. Man, I hope you guys appreciate all of this time this building is taking. These buildings. I'm trying to do them to the best of my ability as quickly as possible. But who Lord? Hey Nimish. Oh, you've been here. You're saying hey to Panda. Man, so the next couple games that we're going to be streaming, by the way, I'm very excited about. We're going to be streaming some Time Crisis on the weekend, and we are going to, which is a light gun game if you're not familiar, and we're going to be streaming all these windows. We're going to be streaming some Eye of Judgment. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that. It is a Wizards of the Coast trading card game that is like augmented reality. If you make money on stream, it's a business investment, not done crap. Let me tell you, this stream operates at a significant loss. If we're gonna start to like fold in like I need a upscaler for the Sega Saturn, then like that's a lot of subscriptions, let me tell you. Three of your friends told you the last 2 weeks that they will be sustainable in their creative jobs in the next 6 months to quit their day jobs. That's awesome. I never made that jump. Like I started this goes to show you, like, we're talking about like finances and stuff, and it seems like I know what I'm doing, but let me tell you, when I started this gig, I was like, I want to do comics. I'm just going to do comics. And then like the rest of my life will fall into place, right? Like that'll be a thing. I don't need a day job. We're just going to do comics. And then I made like no money at all for like years. Like barely making ends meet. Like not even making ends meet. Like straight up not making ends meet. I don't know how I necessarily got through all that. I definitely couldn't make that jump again. I admire the people who do it responsibly, who are like this is my day job and this is my creative field, and I think that maybe like I've grown enough that I can now leave my day job for my creative field. Like that's awesome, and those people are far more put together than I am. I'm put together now, but let me tell you, 22-year-old Nick Filardi, hot mess. Ugh, those were the days. Just every bill was late always. Oh God, I'm thinking back to it, and like the like just financial, I don't know, ruin that I was wreaking on myself for no reason other than to be like, I don't know, let's give it a shot. Need to improve your revenue stream 17,000%. Yeah. Man, it's tough. Like, dude, I don't know. I was thinking about this the other day. Is like, it feels like, at least with like comics that make money. We were talking about in the stream the other day, or in the Discord, how Marvel Rising, I think is what it's called, which is like a cool book, but they are trying to augment the numbers, like trying to get higher numbers, which, by the way, I have no problem with. Do anything you can do to get higher numbers, if that is indeed your goal, and that is Marvel's goal. They're a business. So they are trying to get higher numbers by, it's like Marvel Rising 0, Marvel Rising 1, Squirrel Girl, and Miss Marvel 1, Miss Marvel, and Squirrel Girl #1, and that's how you're supposed to read it in order. Like there's no numbering. It's just like that's the way it is, and they do that because they want like #1s to sell. Like #1s sell well, so they're trying to get that to work right. And it's like, but it makes it difficult for, you know, actual readers to like follow, like understand the order in which you read these comic books. Like that's kind of like its own freaking beast. But I was thinking about like how my argument with all of this was that like, well, maybe they need to do this to like augment the sales in order to like pull up or justify books that are losing money, and books that are losing money within the creative environment need to exist. And the reason that I think that books that lose money need to exist is because Isn't there a limit? Yeah, yeah, yeah. The first book of a series always sells the best, but isn't there a limit? Yes. I don't know if this tactic is going to work for them, but it's something they're trying. Um, at any rate, and more power to them. Like, do everything you can do. I hope it works. Maybe they're all going to be number ones. Maybe we're just going to do away with all numbers from now on. I don't know. Fuck, man. Like, who knows? But, and the Marvel Rising stuff looks great. Like, people should read it. I don't know. I am very excited to read West Coast Avengers right now, actually. But, I haven't yet. Just came out this today. What was I going with this? Oh, terrible comics need to exist. Comics that don't make money need to be out there because, like, I was not, like, 5 years ago, I couldn't do what I do today. Not that these flats are any kind of example, because we are fast and loose with these flats, but coloring wise, I was not able to do when we colored that Jim Lee page, the Jim Lee Catwoman page over here, 16, like this, to the level of quality that I did this on stream, and you can check the back streams if you want to see me work on this. I was not able to do 5 years ago. And 5 years before that, I wasn't even able to even look at it and understand how it was built. You know, like, it was so far beyond my skill level that I was like, well, that's never going to happen. You know, like, I can't, that doesn't do anything for me. I can't learn anything from that. But I was on Marvel books and I was on DC books like 10 years ago. And I don't know how they sold. Probably not great. I wasn't paying attention to stuff like that at the time. But, like, I need a space to, like, be able to make money so that I don't starve, and or less dramatically, so that I don't consistent creative teams and too many relaunches. Yeah. I mean, that's a whole other discussion. But, like, you know, I needed time and a length of rope from Marvel to, like, you know, get better, essentially. Like, I needed them to pay me as an investment in me to be better in the future. And so, like, that investment is important. And, like, so if that book doesn't sell very well, they're like, well, it doesn't sell very well now, but Nick will be better in the future, or the writer will be better in the future, or the artist will be better in the future. And it's like an investment down the line in better comics. Because, like, right now, probably, like, I mean, I don't have any facts or figures or anything to back this up, but it feels like the big money is made in, like, maybe the top, like, 10%, 5% of comics. This is just gut feeling. And then, like, that top 10% kind of, like, pulls up everything else to be like, hey, we're breaking even, kind of thing. And that's how it feels like the comic industry works to me from the outside. Very much on the outside. Can't stress that enough. But, like, bad comics need to exist because of that. You need to let people learn. Because otherwise, I'll just, like, you know, be like, oh, nothing pays well, I'm just going to do white collar crime instead. You know? I'll just be, you know, diversifying into crime, which makes the most sense to me. And I hope that clip, out of context, does not come back to bite me in the ass after I do all the crimes. He said he was going to do crimes. We didn't believe him. Holy Lord. I can see why Barry did not flat in all these details. Because this is exhausting. This page is exhausting. Maybe it's that I'm tired. Maybe it's that I'm thinking about doing crime rather than doing work. But yeah, I mean, I'm also like not into relaunches and stuff like that, but there are an entire group of people who are weekly warriors who have entirely different wants and needs with comics than I do. Like, the reason and I think it's important to recognize that, by the way. In a sport team, they buy players that are going to be good in the future so that they can lend them. Yeah, gain the experience. Exactly. Basically, comics are sports. And I won't hear otherwise. Shut up, Brendan. That's not real. That's not a real number. Let me tell you, that was not because of me, that was despite me. At any rate, I find that unbelievable. 32,000 copies? That's unbelievable. Hey! Thank you for the follow, Soul Bad Guy. In sports, they also trade their colorists for other teams. Oh no! I'm going to be traded for a football player. It's because it's 3 stories drawn by ridiculous people with a Roberto Ramos cover. Yeah, exactly. They're sneaking me in there. This is the other thing when it comes to starting out. I don't know if you guys know this, but like sometimes when your price is high as a colorist, you won't work with star people. And this isn't to say all the time, but like every book has a budget, and if your price is very high, it's tough to get other people on that book with you that are also high priced. Fucking everything is a balance, everything is a business. Like when it comes to mainstream comics. So a lot of times if you see an inexperienced colorist, like say my first Marvel book, on like a book with a Roberto Ramos cover, like that's why. It's probably because like Roberto Ramos cost a good bit of money, and Nick Flaherty we can get for pennies on the dollar, and he's happy to do the work. That spry, young, dumb Nick Flaherty. Your story was, oh yeah, I remember Dan not being happy with that. If memory serves, I can't really remember. It was like a Juggernaut story, I think. I think he wasn't too into it. I was trying, in all fairness, I think if I looked at it now, I wouldn't be into it. I think I was trying to do this like soft look where I was like affecting the line art. I was making the line art like soak up color in this like Gaussian blur kind of thing that was like not working. we really gotta like, man, we really gotta go and look at old Nick Flaherty work one of these streams and just rip it apart because it deserves it. There's a lot of that work that I remember very fondly, and a lot of that work where I was like straight up like I'm where I'm at now, skill level wise, because I have tried and failed at so many things. You can't be afraid of that stuff. I mean, obviously Dan wasn't very happy about it, but we all know Dan is doing fine career-wise. I did not tank his career, as far as I know. Are those are the eyes? We got it. We got there. If I ever meet Dan, I'll have to apologize. It was a long time ago. I'm sure he's not even thinking about it, or he's furious. One of the two. But yeah, I think that part of the reason that my career is so wonky is because I was like really unabashedly just like, well, I only have time to color like paid things and I don't have time to try out stuff, so I'm going to try out stuff over paid work because I have no other time to do stuff. Part of this stream, like the advantage of this stream in general, is that like I get to try stuff like in a setting with no repercussions. And I wish I figured that out early on in my career. That I can just take time out and like do my own thing. If you are an aspiring colorist or an aspiring artist or whatever, you should take time out and do your own thing. Like when it comes to like Marvel DC stuff, do what you do. Like knock it out of the park. Don't try the new thing. It's like when they tell runners not to like, oh, you're going to be running the Boston Marathon. Like, don't try out new equipment on that run. You know, like that's a bad idea. When you run that marathon, you want like the tried and true stuff. Oh no, it gets worse. It sold 40K. Well, I'm glad that it sold well despite what I did to that book. Because let me tell you, I was not gentle. It was ham-fisted and not great. Alright, I think we finally got to the end of this goddamn page. Should we look up that work? Let me see if I can. Let me see it. I'm gonna. All right. We're gonna cut to the back computer while I try to image search this stuff. Because I'm curious, and we can show where I came from, which I think is worth looking at. Unfortunately, I don't have the originals anymore. See if I can find the page. Any pages out of it. The work is so old that it may not be out there anymore. Unfortunately. I'm gonna find it based on the name, not the artist's name. Oh shit, Brian Reber is in this book too. He's a great colorist, and he was probably better than me at that time. He's still really good, actually. Let me see if I can find it. I cannot find it. It has been wiped. No one has scanned it. No one cares. Let's see if it's on Comixology. We'll just buy it right now. It's on Goodreads. Yeah. I was hoping that we would not have to pluck down our cash money. War Journal 20. I was doing the same stupid thing on War Journal. Hey Potbelly. What's up, Josh? I was doing the same stupid thing on War Journal that I did also by Andy McDonald. We were talking about him earlier. That I was doing in this book. Oh my god. We're really gonna check this book out. We're ready. This is gonna be hard for me. All right, read it in my books. Hold on, we're almost there. You can't wait. Yeah. Ooh. All right. Let me find the story. Oh, it's not as bad as I remember. Okay, it's not as bad as I remember. I don't think... Okay, I'm remembering this now. Okay, we'll click over. Oh, whoop. All right. Get some royalties now that he bought the book. Yeah. So this is the first Marvel work that I did. Now I think that what happened was, if I remember this correctly, I did the whole book in this Gaussian blur that I was talking about, and then I think I turned it in, and Dan was like, "You got to fix all of this." And I think that like this is what happened after I fixed all of this. I was actually doing, I don't know if, I wonder if Dan did some of this himself, because this almost looks like, this is kind of the stuff I was doing in Punisher Noir too, where I was like trying to do this like kind of like painterly thing, but I like didn't quite know how to do that yet. But it doesn't look as like it looks good, like this fucking menu. It looks good in her arm and like here in the lower back, but then like falls apart over here. Like it's just not consistent. The bar could be better lit. It's just kind of bland. I don't know. I was trying to do this like green red thing with like the brush is a hard setup. Yeah. I mean, this was like what, 2008 maybe, but like I don't know, it's not too bad. I thought it was gonna be a lot worse. There's a lot of like sloppiness happening, but I think that was like kind of what I was going for. You can see it right here. So you see these shadows that are underneath the glasses right here? This is clearly an edited page, because I would never put those green shadows down like that. Like, I think that I just like washed the whole thing in like this obnoxious green. December 2008. Yeah. We should, what's the Punisher War Journal issue? Because that was like, that one was heavily edited to get to a place that was like passable. And I think, I don't know, I can't remember if like Dan jumped in and like did some stuff or not. He may have. on average, how many pages do you color in a day? I usually do 4. 26 February 09. Let me see if I can find it. Here it is. Hold on. I'm getting it loaded up. So here it is. Okay. 2 things jump out at me immediately. Is that I'm going way too dark. Like this is like I'm looking at this digitally and I'm losing Andy's lines. And here we go, like here is the weird Gaussian blur kind of stuff that I was doing. Like you see all this line art in here, it's like picking up the color around it. And it looks okay here, but let me assure you it's not going to look okay after a while. Yeah, like man, I am like this is something. Yeah, the shadows are just like too dark. Like this is too dark. The lights are kind of neat though. This isn't too bad, but you can see that this is like, damn, this is hella dark. Yeah. You can see that like, okay, there's a couple things happening. One is that my monitor isn't calibrated right. So I'm going too dark. The second is that I'm experimenting with texture for the first time. So I'm adding a layer of texture over the whole thing and multiplying it down, which is darkening the whole book. Third thing that's happening is like I'm trying to Gaussian blur like look at all this. Like this is all blurred out. Like all this line art. Let's see if we can get it in like will it snap to a higher resolution? It will not do that. It will not snap to a higher resolution than what we got. Oh man, I wish we could get it at a higher resolution because these are probably like this book is probably so old that I don't know that they had necessarily higher resolution. Had I just discovered Gaussian blur? Well, I had just tried to do this technique that was like, you know what? I could probably do it better nowadays than I could possibly do it. The panel and table looks nice. The texture has a weird perspective, though. Yeah. I mean, yeah, there's a lot going on here. There's a lot going on here. It's not... I expected it to be far more worse. I expect it's also going to get worse as we go. This is a comic, by the way, about a bunch of guys who get Stiltman's costume. The Converse Kid. What up? And then they fight over getting to be the new Stiltman. It's a great comic that I like am really doing my best to kind of kill. The one of the things that's happening that's a little more difficult, and if I had a better sense of color theory, you like the palette? Yeah, it's not a bad palette, but like if I had a better sense of color theory, I wouldn't have put him in a red sweatshirt in a red room. Like the problem is that like a lot of the stuff is like folding in on itself, and putting a layer of texture over the whole thing doesn't help it, like not remotely. And like now we're getting to the point where I'm like, wait, am I doing the Gaussian blur enough? Like maybe I should do it more than I'm doing it. Like I think as the book went on, I put more and more blur down, and this is just, it's just too dark. Like it's just, Andy's doing this beautiful light source, and I'm just like, I'm gonna do what I want to do, you know, like this is way too dark. I don't know. Like, what is happening here? Like, yeah, now the Gaussian blur is like off the rails. Like, his face is starting to like, I don't know, turn into like pulp. Like it's starting to look like a low resolution image, because, I mean, it probably is a low resolution image, but it's starting to look like one because it just like, and yet Annie still works with you. We did one book after this, like 7 years later or 6 years later. Like it was a long time between this and the next thing. And then we're doing a new thing. The new thing's gonna look a lot better than this. So yeah, Punisher shoots the guy when he walks out. But like, yeah, you can see like I'm really leaning into this. What I was doing with the Gaussian blur is like I was trying to do this thing that John Roch was doing, but I didn't have the technical skill to understand it yet. But I was like trying to follow a like this doesn't look too bad. It's too dark and there's a lot going on there, but like, yeah, I don't know. I can knock this story out of the park now. This is a really good story and I wish I was able to give it its justice. Stiltman slamming into the wall. So dumb. It's so dumb, but so fun. Santa Rhino. Yeah, it's like this story's cool. I just fucking murdered the thing because I was like really heavy-handed with everything. I was really heavy-handed with the washes. This is what I was talking about. So when we had Barry Colors' portfolio review, I was telling him like, you are better off going too far and pulling it back than not going far enough. And this is an exact like manifestation of that. Like I'm trying out like 5 different new things on this and I'm going deep with like these palettes and these washes. Like this room feels like it's on fire and like the outside is so blue, but you get a good sense of like inside outside, you know. It's just like I went too far. I don't know. But like, I don't know. I'm doing cool mark making in here. It's funny because like I think after this I like stepped away entirely from like doing this whole technique. Maybe it's worth revisiting now that I kind of understand it better. Like this is a great panel that gets totally lost because I can't figure out how to make like things not blue. Like, for lack of a better term, like Punisher's blue on the wall that's blue, on the spit that's blue, and like nothing is really working right. Man. And like this is way too dark. This probably printed basically black. Man, Andy McDonald. Why were you working with me back then? Let's this is my blue period. Yes. Let's see. Spider-Man Day. You want to do the next one? We'll check out one more. The Spider-Man President's Day. Hey, thank you for the follow. I see you out there. Spider-Man President's Day celebration. I don't know if we're going to be able to really find this. It might be it might be too obscure. Maybe not. Let's see. This is a $9 book. I don't know if we're going to go that deep. I think it's a $9 book because it's like large. Also, it has a lot of big names that I was not involved with. And I think this is... Wait, this might not be it. This might not even be it. Where it was printed. It might be where it was printed. I don't know. It's a graphic novel. We're not going to pick it up. But let's real quick... let's just open something so I can kind of show you what I was thinking back then and why I'm not really doing it now. I'm trying to think of like what's a good piece to work on. Who did I work with on that one? Some vintage NYC mech. We could. That was like before I was trying to get fancy. Was it Rainbows again? Let's open some realm pages so I can show you kind of like what I was thinking about back then. Fraction A McDonald. Man, I'm really like failing upward, huh? Let me find a good realm page for this. So here's the realm. The reason that I picked this is because it has like all these little... Jeremy's doing like all these little fine brushworks and stuff like that. Let's turn off the texture. So what I was doing was taking this, duplicating the line art, I think turning it off. I only like someone over there liked you, or I was passively cheap enough. Yeah. I think that I was taking this and Gaussian blur. Let's see how this looks when we blur the mask. Does it work that way? It had to do with like blurring the mask. Maybe inverting it? No. And setting it to like color or something like that? Was that it? I can't even remember the technique. I'll see if I can dig up the old video and recreate it for future streams. But yeah, I can't for the life of me remember exactly how that worked. But hey, look. All the old work aside, someone over there did like me. And I think also, by the way, I think that part of the reason why I was able to get those jobs is because I was doing something that not a lot of people were doing at the time, which is thinking about color. And even though I was like ham-fisted with it, I was thinking about color as far as storytelling, and I was thinking about color as far as like an art form more than anything else. And I kind of got lucky that I was like in on kind of like this ground floor of that. Like there was only like a handful of books that you saw like that, like Hellboy and stuff like that. And I'm not saying that I was anywhere near what that was, but that was like the bar that I was trying to hit. And there just wasn't a lot of people out there doing what I was doing at the time. At any rate, the ultimate portfolio is like freaking done. All the Batman pages are all flatted and ready to go. So I'm gonna put these in with the Dropbox that's in the Discord link. And then once I have them all together, I'm gonna make a quick video that's basically being like, this is how you color comic books. This is how you set up the CMYK and everything. And I'm gonna link it in that video. But I'm gonna put it on Twitter. I'm going to put it in the Discord. So if you're an aspiring comic creator, I'm also going to put it in the description for this video. If you're an aspiring comic creator and you want to jump in, here I have 11 pages ready to go. I have 4 stories, pages in sequence, ready to go, ready for you to color. And if you knock these pages out of the park and you do better than I did when I was or maybe as good as when I was starting, I don't know, then you'll do good work. You'll get there. You'll get to work for Marvel, I guess, and do a really cool Santa Rhino story, and maybe try to stumble your way through it. I don't know, but yeah, I'm gonna try to find that tutorial that was like from 2004 and see if I can recreate it. We'll see, and maybe bend it to our will for the Robert Wilson IV stream. I don't know. Maybe we're gonna try to work on that. Let me show you real quick what we're gonna be doing tomorrow, because we are gonna be streaming tomorrow. We're gonna be coloring Robert Wilson IV's piece, and we have been sitting on it for too long. If I can find it. Still looking. Good Lord. I gotta get better organized. Here it is. Here it is. We're gonna be coloring up this piece. It's gonna be particularly challenging because Robert wanted to do an iridescent beetle texture to this woman and her outfit. And then we also have multiple light sources. I think what we're going to try to do is, because the iridescent beetle is like this rainbow explosion, but is also kind of this like chrome look, what we're going to try to do is maybe do some gradient maps. I'm just thinking out loud. Look, we're going to be in the weeds. You only heard the last part about pages ready to go. Okay, so I'm working on, I put together a bunch of flatted pages. It's like 11 pages. They're all professional line art. They're all in sequence. They all are there for a reason. I'm going to make a video about it and talk about like what you need to stream tomorrow. You're super bummed. You're going to the show tomorrow and then plans fell flat. Aw. You're going to have a go at some of those Hush pages. Cool, man. They're gonna go up after I'm done with this. They'll be up later tonight. And if you're in the Discord, I'll ping you. Yeah, it's basically just like here. Well, we can show it real quick. I don't want you guys snooping on my stuff. That's why I'm switching over. I know you out there. I know you snooping. So this is them. This is quote unquote the ultimate portfolio. Some of these thumbnails have not updated, or they have, I guess, just now. Yeah. So this is yeah, talks about being too experimental, immediately announces he's going entirely experimental. Yeah. Dude, old habits, die hard. So basically, it's a bunch of stories. It's this is Batman Hush stuff. This is Jim Lee's first issue of Batman from back in the day when he jumped from Wildstorm when DC acquired Wildstorm. It's 5 pages. It's 5 pages that are picked out particularly to be 2 things. Superhero comics with a capital superhero. Like, you can't get more superhero than Jim Lee. It also has overlapping panels, which are a tough challenge. It has cityscapes, which I find to be a tough challenge. And then it also has these kind of like quirky panels where it's got a thermovision. It's got, spotlights from the helicopters. It's got, we're at the docks and then we scene transition to like through the city, which comes with its own set of problems. This is exactly the type of piece that needs some experimenting on, so good choice. Yeah. And then additionally, this is like kind of the meat and potatoes of the portfolio. Like, you have to do these 5. Once you do these 5, you can pick 2 or all 3 of the next stories. This is some bone stuff, and storytelling wise, we talked about it in the Barry Colors portfolio review, but like you have to make the viewer here, first of all, in this busy marketplace with a lot of stuff going on. You have to make them with the conversation with the bones. And then as this goes on, it goes from like cheery time to like they talk about like how they're going to try not to get caught. And then through this panel, Bone goes from relatively safe place to a place where he's caught with these guards. And so you have to illustrate that through storytelling, through color. Next wave is the Marvel pieces that are in here. The reason that these were chosen was because we have a hard cut from one scene to the next. They are in a field in the middle of the day, and then Machine Man is with the Celestials in the outer space somewhere. And then it's also a flashback, but don't treat it like a flashback. Just treat it like a scene transition. Trust me on that. And then they are back in the field. So the big thing with this is like you get a solid scene transition. So you can show off exactly how you'd be like, oh, I can handle anything you throw at me. I'm not just going to put one color scheme down for 5 pages and ask you to hire me. And then Stray Bullets pages are in here. This is a little more indie, but it shows that you can kind of do anything. It shows that you can kind of run the gamut of stuff. Also, we have like interesting storytelling happening here with like this close-up lick and then this kid filled with rage and like clocks him. And then we have like the chaos of the classroom. The reason that Stray Bullets, Next Wave, Bone, and Batman were all picked, by the way, is because not only are they professional line art, but they are also like fan favorites and will get you the interaction with editors and with other artists in a way where it's like, oh, you did Stray Bullets pages. That's really cool. Let's talk about Stray Bullets. Oh, you did Next Wave. I love these Next Wave pages. Stuart Immonen, he just retired. Let's talk about, like, and you make that connection with other people. So not only is it like these pages were picked for specific reasons to show off storytelling and show off scene transition and show off and like challenge you, but in addition to that, they were also chosen so that you can make connections with other artists in real life. These are all fan favorite artists that like whoever artist and whatever editor you talk to, they're gonna see a book that they have going on in one of these projects, and they're gonna see you thinking about that. So this is like a complete idiot proof portfolio. If like you just want to like try to break into comics, you do these pages. You don't have to add anything to it. You don't have to like augment it somehow or whatever. Just bang these guys out. You're good to go. This is enough pages. This is like exactly where you want to be. So I want to do this for you guys because I'm trying to pull you up, get you work, get you out there, get you noticed. And I want to see these pages floating around with like, cool colors on them. I want you guys out there doing cool colors. Another thing about these pages is that I didn't like ask for any favors. Like they're scanned from like, this is a crayon edition of Next Wave. Like Stray Bullets is in black and white. Bone was in black and white. Batman had a black and white issue for this. Like I'm not pulling any favors. Like if anybody's like, oh, where'd you get those pages? You just like, they're just out there, they're not anything like crazy special that no one can do on their own, can't do on their own, So yeah, this is the Ultimate Portfolio. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you make good comics, and I hope you join me next stream. We're going to be calling that Robert Wilson the Fourth piece. But until then, guys out there in YouTube land or in Twitchville, as it were, keep making comics. And here's to survival. Thank you for the bits. Appreciate it. See you in 2 weeks. Oh yeah, you're going to the show. Yeah, see you in 2 weeks. Yeah, no problem. We're gonna be back tomorrow at like 2:30. See you guys then.